There are three very interesting yet completely contradictory things when it comes to voiceover and when it comes to how to land an actual voiceover gig. That's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about those three confusing things in today's segment. So let's just jump in. Thing number one, improvise, except when you're not supposed to. In my travels, when I've been meeting with other professional voiceover artists, there's been a very interesting thing that comes up. When I ask what they do to land the gig, or when they talk about how they actually got into work, a lot of them say that they stand by improvising. They'll improvise in any script. It doesn't matter whether it's commercial, whether it's video game, whether it is animation, and these are some scripts that have to be by the letter, and they will still improvise, at least for the audition, and they still land the gigs. Other ones say that they would never improvise. They live by the words on the page, by the writer's intent, and they would never dare improvise to suggest that they have a more in-depth knowledge of what would work versus the writers. And they land the gig. So which is it? I found that it really only works when you improvise when it comes from a place of I'm not trying to just insert words here to show that I'm wordy, but when it comes from a place of I'm actually just speaking and this is what's coming out in order to employ your message. In those situations, more times than not, it actually comes off as being a little bit better because it's more natural. It runs and flows a little bit easier, and it comes from more of you. You're not focused on those words, you're focused on the actual message, and you're using your voice as a vehicle in order to get those out. That's the number one contradiction. Number two contradiction is auditioning itself. Now, this is very interesting. I met a voiceover artist last year. He gave a talk at the Sovis Awards, and he talked about how he pretty much always auditions and submits auditions from his cell phone. iPhone, microphone, just records, sends the auditions to his agents. Those are what's sent out, and those land him gigs. And he is a very, very heavy hitter in the industry. He works consistently. So what's the difference? Record auditions in your car with an iPhone, or use a whole setup like you commonly know? Once again, that goes back to having the confidence and being able to be upfront and tell people, hey, this is what I'm recording with. This is not indicative of the quality. Listen to my website, or here's a sample so that you can get a final quality inspection. Why does it matter? Why did he land the gigs? Well, it's because he knew how to act. At the end of the day, voice acting, your voice is only 10% of this deal. 90% of it is acting. He knows how to act, he has the goods, so therefore he's able to use a cell phone to record these auditions. No, that's not how he records the final actual gig, but for recording the auditions and getting those out there so that they can hear and assess if he is proper for the role, a cell phone does perfectly fine. All right, so we have two controversial heavy hitters, people who stick to the script and people who go off the script, people who audition from only in pristine environments to people who audition in their car with an iPhone. What's the third one? The third one is actually the most baffling. But before we get into the third one, I want to take a second and thank all of you for being a part of this channel. It's been an absolutely incredible journey, and I'm beyond excited to keep going. To that end, I've actually launched something new. I have launched memberships as a portion of this channel. I'm taking a lot of voice acting classes over the course of the next year. I'm taking pretty much 1 to 2 a week, and then in January 2025, I'm going to be going out to Los Angeles and studying at the Stella Adler School of Acting. I'm going to be taking foundational techniques, and I might take some other classes as well. All that to say that I am extremely, extremely fortunate and blessed to be able to do that, which not a lot of other people are. It takes money to do all of that. Not a lot of people have that. I'm in an extremely fortunate position. To that end, after every single class, I'm going back and I'm talking about what I've learned in the classes in a unproduced, unpolished breakdown where I talk about what are the differences, what are the aspects, what are the actual key important things that I'm learning in these classes with industry experts. Not hypothesis, not pulling factoids out of the air, but actual things that are going to help me get to the next level. All of those unpolished videos are going to be available to members of the channel. They're going to be member videos, as well as whenever I have conversations with industry experts, those are going to be member-only videos as well. Now, this is not going to change anything else with the channel, and for everybody else, just understand, A, thank you for supporting me. To my utmost heart, thank you if you decide to go the membership route. If you don't, we're going to have produced versions of some of these conversations, some of these concepts, but they are going to take a little bit longer because they're going to be going through the standard production cycle. So if you want early, raw, unalienated access and glimpses into what it means and what it takes to go through all of this training, you can go ahead and sign up to be a member. For $5 a month, you get access to what I'm currently probably going to spend over the next year around $12,000 for. So thank you so much for supporting me. I hope this is of value. And let's get back to the third thing before this video goes on for too long. The third thing that I find extremely interesting about what sets people apart, the controversies or contradictions in this industry, is specs. The specs on a sheet. I want this voice to sound warm and trustworthy. I want it to sound young and upbeat. I want it to sound old and ragged and ready for tough, if you will. I have met people who stick and love the specs. It is their Bible, it is their guideline, it is their voice. They go 100% with the specs. They tailor their approach to those specs. And then, I've met voiceover artists who say, screw the specs, this is me, this is how I'm gonna have fun, this is me going at it as if this was just me reading it. Yeah, I still have my emotionality, I still have my place, I still have who I'm talking to, but this is me reading this script. Specs be damned. And once again, both of them get work. All of this video to say one very important thing. There are no set rules in this industry. Whether you're listening to the specs or not, improvising or not, auditioning in your car or not, the main thing that connects all of these people and all of these contradictory ideas is acting. They are incredible actors who can bring a script and words and an imaginary circumstance to life in the way that they know best with their words. And that is the most important thing. So, specs, do they give you a guiding light? If they do, keep them. I know certain people who like to stick by the book in their entire life because it helps them stay straight and narrow. Auditioning in this environment, if this is what channels you and guides you in and makes it feel like it puts the best work forward, 100% go for it. That's how I audition. I take this microphone with me everywhere I go whenever I need to audition. I don't audition for my iPhone. But if you're out and about and something calls to you and you want to send it in, record it and send it in. Just once again, let them know, hey, this is not indicative of the final quality. This is just a sample of what I believe that I can bring to the table for your character. Improvise? If you have something to say that's not on that sheet of paper that makes it feel real and alive and vivid to you and can bring those words to life, go for it. Yeah, there are some circumstances when you're never supposed to improvise, but a lot of that is for when you actually get the gig. If it says don't do any of this stuff, then absolutely don't abide by it. But if it feels and is calling to you and you know how to act, then go for it. Because I've seen in both circumstances, it work beautifully. Thank you so much for joining in on this video. I know it's a little bit less polished. We're going to be going back to our produced things, but I wanted to get something out this week and announce the memberships. So if you decide to go down that route, thank you so much for joining in on the membership channel. One video is already there. It is what I learned from this is my second lesson. I'm actually going to be going back through my previous lessons as well and giving raw and polished updates. And tomorrow I have a video game session with an absolute legend. I can't wait for it, and I can't wait to talk about it after for you guys. Thank you so much. I'll catch you in the next video.